Hello, and welcome to the Sam and Cat Show, or the Cat and Sam Show. Man, am I off today. We'll see how this one goes.
We will. With both of us, we'll just fly with it today.
We're just going to fly with it.
Yeah, and just be all kind of
We got some...
chilled. And...
What do you think we should talk about?
Well, humour. I thought might be quite a nice one. If you were, like jokes, the jokes that's used, and I don't know, laughter. Because we laugh a lot, don't we?
So how many narcissists does it take to screw in a light bulb?
I don't know. Tell me how many narcissists it takes to screw in a light bulb.
None, because they all gaslight.
I love it. That's a good one.
There's my joke for the day.
I just
thought of that. Yeah, just a joke for the day. Yeah, and I like jokes. I mean, I think I like humor. I like having fun and giggling and laughing and, carrying on. At the same time, I think when it becomes just used to hide, which I experienced a lot when in my relationship. Oh, I was just joking. Oh, I didn't really mean that. And they did. It's very passive aggressive. I don't know.
I think it is a really passive aggressive tool that they use, and it's again, it's weapon. I mean, we've touched on this before, but it's the weaponizing, isn't it? Weaponizing of laughter, the weaponizing of fun, the weaponizing of jokes, of and I like using the word, oh, it's just banter. Well, it's not banter, actually, and it doesn't mean that, that thing I see in there, I've nearly automatically did it again. It doesn't mean I don't have a sense of humour when I find, somebody dressing a nasty comment up supposedly as humour, which I think is the best way to describe. It's not funny. It's not humorous at all. It's actually meant to be hurtful. It's laughing at somebody, but it's also that thing of being nasty and then turning around and saying, well, like you said, I was only joking. What's the matter with you? You lost your sense of humour. And even doing it with a smile on their faces. I think that's part of the dissonance that creates something. It's like, how can you be saying what you're saying, but with this big cheesy smile and like it's supposed to be funny, And it causes that discombobulation, And it's not about being oversensitive either. I think that's another key factor. Me and my mates, we rip it out of each other all the time. Well, not all the time, but, we can. We do that. Like, I explained it once, like with a girlfriend of mine, she'd say to me and I'd say to her, when we sort of like when we were younger, when we were going out, they say, how do I look in this or whatever? Says, oh, you look really ugly. You look horrible, but you don't, because you look bloody stunning. Do you know what I mean? But we understood that in our relationship that's what it was, and it was mutual. That's mutuality. There you go. It's the mutuality of it, isn't it?
I can remember growing up, and there was some mockery that was done that was just fun. It just meant that they loved you, and they meant nothing by it. There was nothing heinous or ill-willed about it. It was just a way to make, kind of get you to get a rise. And then there's ones where It's not to get a rise, it's to cut. And I think we don't get to decide if we hurt somebody. They get to decide whether they've been hurt or not. But the mockery that I had as a kid was not out of control. Now, it could be, we had friends we had people that treated other people horribly and bullied them. And we got in trouble for it because that wasn't appropriate. I don't know where I was going to go with that, but
no, I can see it is about that. It's difficult to differentiate. It's like, how can you tell one type of mockery for another? And I think that key thing is that genuine mutuality, so you're on the same page. It's not hurtful. You know where each other's boundaries are. And the intent behind it is absolutely for fun and mutual fun, mutual humour. It's I think, like with most things within abuse, it's the imbalance, but it's also used, like I say, to dismiss. So genuine humour. I mean, I've done part of what I'm known for, or was known for, in the UK. I did lots of dramas and stuff like that as well, but was comedy. And there is a line with comedy where it goes over into, and that's the skill. But humour, humour is, you can have humour that's really close to the bone. You have stand-up comedians who really do push the boundaries and stuff like that, and it's inappropriate and people laugh, but it's a different kind of laughter. So a lot of people's laughter at that in that kind of way is, it's embarrassment. We laugh when we're embarrassed. We laugh when we're confused. I don't know what else to do. Sometimes we laugh because we don't know whether to do that or cry, and sometimes we do it all at the same time. But the jokes, when it's one-on-one and it's personal and it's about love and friendship and that mutual relationship, family, they shouldn't be hurtful. You don't need to be controversial in your one-to-one relationships. You don't need to be using humour as a weapon to open up conversations about world hunger, or do you know what I mean? It's.
I was just thinking about something that one of my family members used in like my care of my kids. In like, she's a mama bear. You go after her kid, she's coming after you. Okay, doesn't hurt me, doesn't bother me.
And it's complimentary, and it's saying an awful lot about you as a parent. Some people might sort of say, "Oh, that's not how you should be," but it's saying a lot about you as a person.
Well, then the same thing can be said, but with a different tone. So, I was waiting for Mama Bear to come out. That whole reaction respond kind of thing that gets a lot of people in trouble, because when you react, it's because somebody's gotten underneath your skin and is trying to hurt you, whether it's a joke or not, Yeah,
and it has a whole different implication. So there is so much tied up in these jokes that then is called banter, even, we were talking in another video about the police and sexual assaults on co-workers, female co-workers and other officers. And, that was described as banter. You know, it's there's yeah, I don't know how many times I heard. "Oh, I'm only joking. What's the matter with you?" You know, it's like, well, if I said that to you in that way, there's no way you'd take it as a joke. You know, and the way he'd talk about his friends and, you know, really arrogant, really dismissive, really, and laughing at them. You know, not sort of, you know when somebody does it, like you do it, you know, you will do something and I'll laugh, I'll do something, you laugh. And it's with affection, but it's really obvious it's with affection.
Right?
Yeah, right. Okay. You know, well, but that's daft, you know, but and I can say that, but that's, you know, that the intent is different.
Right. And that's, you know, that really is it. I mean, and I think we try to break things down, but what's interesting, I find, I think when we're breaking something down is that there's so much in it. You know, you talked about being dismissive and trying to get, and I talked about like trying to get underneath your skin. And I mean, it really is the weaponizing. And it has so many tactics with it. It's dismissive. It's dehumanizing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's one of their biggest. It's one of their biggest tools, and I think it's one. I don't know how anybody else feels, and I mean, I'll say this at the end, but you know, if anybody wants to comment and share and subscribe and press the bell, but to join in the conversation is, you know, the laughter went from the house. My house was always, like, growing up, it was always full of laughter. And it took a long time for me to remember how to laugh again. There wasn't. I mean, we would, like, with my family, I don't know if you know that proper belly laughing where you can't breathe and you're crying and all of that. That's the kind of stuff we do all the time. I mean, my mum and I were terrible because we'd set each other off something rotten. And I just didn't do that for years and years. I just didn't, the laughter just went out of my life. And then you're labelled depressed. But actually it's because they're like the Grinch. Instead of stealing Christmas, they steal laughter. And I think that's one of those little things that you sort of go, you don't realise is part of abuse. When you stop laughing, that's a problem.
Yeah, you know, I never thought about it, and I never thought about it when I left either, or, you know, when I've been away from it. And it does get taken away and taken out. And you do have to find a way back in, because I think when you come out and when you come out of those relationships and you have a society that says, well, oh, she's too sensitive. Oh, she's a man hater, or oh, all the labels and all the, you know, why didn't she leave earlier? I can't believe she raised kids and that, and I can't believe she did this and that. And, you know, it's like there isn't anything to laugh about, because you have this huge wound and society's like, we don't care. You should have left. it's like no compassion and no, and that's one of the reasons why we talk, is because we want compassion for people that are coming out of these things, and some understanding about how difficult it can be. And, laughter is the best medicine. We talked about that before.
Absolutely.
And,
and I think abusers,
the
kind of people, I don't know, but the kind of people that they are, they really don't like genuine laughter, genuine happiness, genuine joy, genuine fun, because I don't think they know how to have it.
Well, I think they like it as long as it's not geared towards them.
Yeah, no, I don't think they do. I think that part of their thing is to actually squish the joy out of everybody and everything. Because they don't have it in their lives. They don't want it in anybody else's, because they don't know how to feel it. Because you can't actually have fun without empathy. You can't have joy without empathy. You can't have laughter without empathy. You can't have jokes without empathy. Might be why we find each other absolutely hilarious. Somebody else might think we're just stupid, but it's because we get each other. So, you're one of the funniest people I know,
But I think a lot of people, though, live in that static area where they're not so much joy and they're not so much sadness. They just live in the static so that they don't have to feel. And that's why I think it's an interesting point in what you're saying. Is their joy genuine? It's like, so many comedians are just wreathing with pain inside.
Oh, I've worked with quite a lot of comedians, actually, and they very often they have a dark side. It's out of the dark side comes humour, but they do often either have or are suffering. And it's quite often how a comedian is born. How many times have we heard, a child who's being bullied at school learns to be the class clown, to fit in for whatever reason. So, there's a lot of great positives in comedy, but it does come out of pain, and it's like, it very often can. And the funnier, sometimes the more painful it is, the funnier it is. But again, it's about that mutuality. Using it to cause pain. Coming out of pain is one thing. Humour coming out of pain is one thing. Using humour to cause pain is a very different beast.
It's interesting that you're talking about it that way, because I never thought about it that way. I always thought, if the intention is on them and they're happy and they're joyful and they're laughing and they're making jokes and they're the center of attention, that's different than them. They're basically the bully. And I'm not saying I'm not saying all comedians are bullies. I'm just saying they do laugh. Some of them.
Are we talking about comedians or abusers?
I think I was trying to talk about abusers, but
and they will be, won't they? They'll be the life and soul of the party. They're marvelous, centre of attention, funny, all of those things. But when you actually really look and listen at their humour, you will tend to find that it is absolutely at the expense of somebody else, and with its intent to cause pain. And that isn't what comedy or humour actually is about. So,
and I think and like I said, I never thought of it that way. I really didn't. I think that was a good aha moment for me, in you expressing exactly, yep, little ding ding, and hit that bell because I just got it.
And subscribe and share and leave your comments if you like what we do.
Right. All right. And I'm out of here.
Me too. See you all later.
I think. All right, sweetie. Bye.
Bye-bye.